Hello, hello. Back here for another Bible reading. Today we're on Genesis chapter 20. I believe it's Abraham and Abimelek. I think that's the guy's name. Why don't I just open up the book and double check? So let's see what's going on. Oh, the camera is making me look like an angel again. Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you, camera. Yep, Abraham and Abimelek. So I think from now on, I'm going to try and do a little more analysis after the chapters. Sometimes I just read and kind of like talking about my day. I still like talking about my day. I'll do that, but I'll try and get a little more into analysis. So let's begin. Genesis. Oh, wow, this Bible really shines, huh? I don't even know that's happening on camera. Wow, that's pretty cool. Really is a magic book, huh? Okay, Genesis chapter 20, Abraham and Abimelek. Now Abraham moved on from there into the region of the Negev, and lived between Kadesh and Shur. For a while he stayed in Gerar, and there Abraham said of his wife Sarah, "She is my sister." Then Abimelek, king of Gerar, sent for Sarah and took her. But God came to Abimelek in a dream one night and said to him, "You are as good as dead, because of the woman you have taken. She is a married woman." Now Abimelech had not gone near her. So he said, "Lord, will you destroy an innocent nation? Did he not say to me, 'She is my sister'? And didn't she also say, 'He is my brother'? I have done this with a clear conscience and clean hands." Then God said to him in the dream, "Yes, I know you did this with a clear conscience. So I have kept you from sinning against me. That is why I did not let you touch her. Now return the man's wife, for he is a prophet, and he will pray for you, and you will live. But if you do not return her, you may be sure that you and all who belong to you will die." Early the next morning, Abimelech summoned all his officials, and when he told them what had happened, they were very much afraid. Then Abimelech called Abraham in and said, "What have you done to us? How have I wronged you that you have brought such great guilt upon me and my kingdom? You have done things to me that should never be done." And Abimelech asked Abraham, "What was your reason for doing this?" Abraham replied, "I said to myself, 'There is surely no fear of God in this place, and they will kill me because of my wife. Besides, she really is my sister, the daughter of my father, though not of my mother, and she became my wife.' And when God had me wander from my father's household, I said to her, 'This is how you can show your love to me. Everywhere we go, say of me, he is my brother.' Then Abimelech brought sheep and cattle and male and female slaves and gave them to Abraham. And he returned Sarah his wife to him. And Abimelech said, 'My land is before you. Live wherever you like.' To Sarah he said, 'I am giving your brother 1,000 shekels of silver. This is to cover the offense against you before all who are with you. You are completely vindicated.' Then Abraham prayed to God, and God healed Abimelech, his wife, and his female slaves, so they could have children again. For the Lord had kept all the women in Abimelech's household from conceiving because of Abraham's wife Sarah." Okay, cool chapter. What stands out to me again is seems awfully familiar, doesn't it? This whole situation because of what Abraham pulled in Egypt with his wife. So again, he was fearful that he would be killed because the king or Pharaoh in that case would see uh, his wife as beautiful, and then yeah, they would take her. So interesting that that happened again. Another thing that stands out to me is that Abraham and Sarah are actually half siblings. So again, this stuff would seem weird now, but I think when you have to read this, um, you have to have a historical lens when you view these kinds of things because there were so many less people back then. I mean, I'm Assyrian, and my grandparents were in Iran, which was a primarily um, Muslim country, and Assyrians are a Christian people, and we Christians like to marry other Christians, so uh, it was very common for people to even marry cousins back then. Like, not I'm not like second or third cousins, still distant cousins, but it just goes to show you how things were different even not so long ago. Um, Not that I would ever do that, by the way. I've, I think if you have options, you should stay clear of the family, obviously. But yeah, just everything should be viewed contextually. And actually, I had a really nice comment from a viewer who um, kind of got my view down back to earth because last chapter I was a little taken aback at the fact that Lot was offering up his daughters for the men of Sodom to have sex with to protect the angels' divinity. But basically, I mean, you know who you are. I'm not gonna. I said I wouldn't say names, but you explained it to me pretty much exactly how I just said it, where you have to understand that Lot was put in a difficult situation, and the demands of the men are actually in accordance with how wicked the city was. So it's supposed to be a very difficult situation. It's supposed to appear intense and almost horrific to the reader for you to understand what kind of evil was in those places. So yeah, I just think reading things in the Old Testament and understanding the frame in which you are reading them is important. So that is my, I guess, analysis of this chapter. Not too much happened. I do think it's interesting that God really threatens Abimelek, even though he was not really in the wrong because he didn't know what he was doing. And then after he kind of defends himself and says, I had no idea, then God listens and tells him to give Sarah back and all is well. So that was also interesting. Again, I wish I had more time to like formulate analysis, but I don't want to pre-read any chapters and then um, like have a bunch of stuff written down. Maybe I could do that, and it would be a more informative reading. But I do like the kind of raw aspect of me reading it for the first time, and I have read a lot of the Bible before, but for Genesis, like I kind of only read chapters 1 and 2, and yeah, so a lot of the stuff I'm seeing for the first time, I think it's cool to capture that on camera. So you know, uh, pros and cons of uh, pre-reading versus a raw reaction. Yeah, maybe what I could do is I could read actually, and then after I could take some time and then come back with an analysis and stitch the video together. And I would give me like a 15-minute period to briefly gather my thoughts. And I could also learn how to edit because that would require putting clips together, and it would be kind of a, I think, merging clips is a standard preliminary step in learning any editing software. So if I would like to get more into YouTube, editing would be a good skill to pick up. So that's an idea. Maybe I'll do that. So yeah, I guess for channel news, I'll look into a good editing software. And I imagine, I'm a software engineer by trade, so I don't think that putting two MP4 clips together will be too hard. So I'll try that out. Anyway, my day was pretty good. I just went out and got pho with my parents. Pho is a really delicious Vietnamese soup. It was kind of a cold day here in Northern California, so it really hit the spot. And my mom is a big soup person, so she had a great time. And when you see your parents happy and laughing and just enjoying food, something in you also just feels immensely satisfied. And I was just really happy having a good time with them. So that was nice. And I think that's going to be it for uh, today's video. Thank you, everybody. Jonathan out.